If you have histamine intolerance, you typically have low stomach acid. If you have low stomach acid and you're still eating a lot of meat, a lot of protein, a lot of animal products, guess what? You're going to cause yourself lots of problems because you need that stomach acid to break down the meat, to animal products, the proteins. And if you don't, what will happen is this food will end up rotten in your large intestine and causing all kind of toxic release and causing a change in your gut microbiome, causing aggravation to your immune system, causing leaky gut, all these things. This is why it's critical to have enough stomach acid, right? So what do you do? What do you do when you have histamine intolerance and all that? Well, you just don't eat all the foods which you need stomach acid for. You could take betaine HCl all day, and most of the time that does not work, right? It doesn't work. If you want to try to increase your breakdown of proteins, you got to have something like a bitter, something like a bitter right before you consume this, something like a dandelion root, an artichoke leaf, something like that can help you break down some of these things. But the reality is you don't want to be taking betaine HCl. It's not going to help you in the long run. It usually works for like a few days if it even does that, and eventually it irritates the gut lining, irritates the body. So if you want to be able to heal your stomach when you have histamine intolerance, you can't be eating foods that require tons of acid to break down, okay? You can't be eating tons of meat, tons of eggs, tons of dairy, tons of these dairy animal products that are going to cause you issues, okay? Just transition towards a diet that requires less acid to break your food down. And you don't need acid to break down carbohydrates, to break down fiber, to break down plants for the most part, right? Stomach acid is really only necessary to break down proteins. So if you're having issues with stomach acid, guess what? Eat less protein. Eat more of the plants. That's what you need to do to heal from histamine intolerance anyways, okay? People always think you got to avoid all the plants that have histamine in them. You got to avoid all the foods that have histamine. It's not true. You got to avoid the irritants in your diet. And the common irritants are typically dairy, eggs, nuts, seeds, gluten, processed food, and meat. Because meat is not broken down very easily. It can take anywhere from 3 to 12 hours just to even break it down. So why would you consume a food that's hardest to break down when you have a hard time breaking down foods due to acid insufficiency? You could ask yourself, all right? Reach out to me if you have questions.